Hello, Jason here from septictank.co.uk, and in this broadcast today we're going to talk about the general binding rules. So if you're a septic tank owner, what are the general binding rules? How do they affect you, and what exactly are these rules, right? Well, let's get straight into this, okay? So the general binding rules are basically laws that have recently been made by the UK government that affect all septic tank owners throughout the UK. Now, the general binding rules came into force on the 1st of January 2020. They're basically requirements and laws that all septic tank owners must now adhere to. So what are some of these laws? Well, there's quite a few laws. It's quite comprehensive, but I've broken it down into 4 categories here to make it really simple for you. So let's crack straight on with this. Okay, so basically, all septic tanks that are now installed must come with a certification. And this certification is called an EN 12566. Okay, now depending whether you've got a septic tank, a sewage treatment plant or a septic tank converter will depend on the certificate that the government issue you or comes with the product you've bought. So with septic tanks, it would be an EN 12566-1. If you had a sewage treatment plant, it would be an EN 12566-3. Or if you bought a septic tank converter, it would be an EN 12566-6. All right, so if you're looking around or you've got your eye on a particular product, get the company, all right, to send you confirmation of the government certificate that should come with that unit, because it's illegal now to install a septic tank, a sewage treatment plant or a septic tank converter without this certification. The system you're also buying needs to come with a CE mark. All right, the CE mark basically states or translates into the fact that this product can be installed and sold in the UK. So these 2 things are requirements. They're laws now. You can't get around it. So if the company you're buying your system from can't produce either of these certificates or the CE mark, and don't buy it, right? No matter what excuses they give you, because that is now the law. All right, now there's another law as well that's come out regarding soakaways, and it's called the BS 6297 2007, and this is basically a BS standard, right? And this pertains, as I said, to soakaways. So whilst the BS standard isn't laws and requirements, it's not mandatory, it's guidelines in there how to construct the design of your soakaway. There's helpful tips in there, how to install it, how to obtain VP figures for your percolation tests, and what products you can or you cannot use. Okay, so that is very, very important. So make sure that your soakaway conforms to this BS standard, and make sure that the product or the tank that you're buying has that certificate. All right, so that's section 1. So section number 2 now, if you've got an old septic tank, right, how does the general binding rules affect you? Well, it's pretty simple. If your septic tank leaks, smells, or has blocked pipes, then you've got to replace it with a new one. I know that seems a bit harsh, but that is what the new general binding rules is all about, because they don't want people polluting the environment. So how can your septic tank leak? Well, maybe the pipes have got cracks in them, maybe your concrete or fiberglass or brick made septic tank, it may be cracked. You know, the brickwork may have fallen out, the concrete may be cracked, the fiberglass may be cracked, and the effluent is leaking out into the soil or into a watercourse. If it smells, that's a very good indication that your septic tank isn't working as it should do. I know it's harsh, but you imagine you living next door to a neighbour who's got a very smelly septic tank. It's unpleasant for you, it'd be unpleasant for the family, and so they're just stamping down on this. Blocked pipes. How do you know if you've got a blocked pipe? Well, typical symptoms would be that you're having to get the septic tank emptied more and more frequently, whereas it states in the general binding rules and section H of the building regs that you need to get your septic tank emptied at least once a year. Emptied because it builds up with sludge. So the proper term would be to be desludged once a year. Now, if you're having to get, if you can't flush your loo, or there's water, say you're walking down the garden and it's slushy and it's wet above the septic tank or above the soakaway, then that's a good indication that it's leaking, the water's coming up to the surface, and you've got raw effluent in the grass, in the topsoil. And obviously that's a danger to your kids, to your family, to your animals, your pets, whatever. So that's a good indication that you've got blocked pipes, that you're having to get your septic tank emptied more and more frequently. Now, another one on this is that if your septic tank discharges into a watercourse, then it's also illegal. There's no way you can fix that other than putting in a septic tank converter, or replacing your whole system and putting a brand new system in, which will cost you about 10 to 15 grand. A septic tank converter will cost you about 2,500, 3,000 quid. So it's about 12,000 quid cheaper than having to replace your system. But the point is, old septic tanks cannot discharge into watercourses now, full stop. All right, section number 3, all right. If your septic tank or soakaway is 15 meters or less, right, to a watercourse, then it's also illegal. It will have to be decommissioned and replaced with either a sewage treatment plant, a septic tank converter, or you'll completely have to decommission it and install a new septic tank and soakaway elsewhere on your land. And the last one of the general binding rules is this, and this is a big one for people, right? If you're looking to put a new system in and your house is 30 meters within, let me put within 30 meters of a main sewer, you must now connect to the main sewer. Now, that is a bit harsh, but I understand the reasons why the government are bringing in all these rules and regulations. But, you know, I'm going back 20 years ago now when I had to put my own septic tank and soakaway in. We were about 50 meters away from a main sewer. We could have connected, but it was going to cost us £14,000, and that's going back 20 years ago. So I do know that typical prices to connect to the main sewer are anywhere from like 21,000 to 40, maybe 50,000 quid now. So, but there's no way around it because this is mandatory now and this is law. So there you have it. This is basically the general binding rules, the laws enforced by the government that came into force from the 1st of January 2020. So if you're a septic tank owner and you found that your septic tank has now become illegal or is now illegal, what are your options? Well, I go into that on other videos. If you go to septictank.co.uk or go on to Google and type in Septic Tank TV, you'll see my TV channel there, or as I said, I've got videos on my main website there, which will give you options, right? You've got about 2 or 3 options as to how you can not circumnavigate this, but correct the problem, fix the fact that you may be discharging into a watercourse, or if you've got a leak or a block. There are simple and cost-effective solutions to fixing these problems, okay? So don't let it stress you out. As I said, just go to septictank.co.uk there. You'll find a whole wealth of free videos to help you. But listen, thank you very much anyway for watching this video today. I hope that's given you a good overview and an understanding of the general binding rules. And you take care, and I'll speak to you soon. For more information, just click the link below this video or visit septictank.co.uk for free help and advice.